Then you have like your 6 human needs. All right, certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection, growth, and contribution. You know, when I talk about in the wheel of life, I talk about where you're at spiritual. You know, obviously, for me, a lot of times it's from my faith, but it's also talking about where you're at in your personal growth, where you're at in contribution, how you give back to the world. Like, we're created to give back, to be a part of community. Everyone has these 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection, growth, and contribution. Some of us on our hierarchy want some of them more than others, right? Certainty there's a lot of people who strive for certainty. For years, I thought my number one human need that I strove after was growth, and it turned out it was really just certainty. Because I used to have a very strong fear mindset, and I realized I had to get I have to get my bachelor's degree, I have to get my master's degree, I have to be number one, I've got to earn this degree, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And I kept thinking it was because I was a growth mindset, when really I was trying to produce certainty. Tara lives in uncertainty, right? She loves uncertainty. When things start getting normal, I'll come home and find my house completely rearranged. That's normal. Like, she will shake things up. If you've been on her team, if you know her personally, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, one day everything's different. Go in her office, it's completely different, right? She does not like repetition. It's the ADHD in her. Some people, it's significance. And a lot of people think significance is a bad thing, like where significance is that need to feel important. And that's not a bad thing. I look at significance as like gas. Gas is really good in a car because it helps it go. Gas is really bad on a car because it sets it on fire and eats the paint, right? So significance, if it's something that motivates you, it's not a bad thing. If it's something that rules your life, that you have to be the most important center of attention, and that's a bad thing. Love and connect, yes?
I have a question on significance.
Yes.
So we talk about legacy a lot, like building a legacy. Would that fall under a significance thing?
It could.
Okay.
It could be a drive, yeah, it'd be significant. Yeah, because it's, like I said, hierarchy, we all need all these 6 things, right? I would say that level of significance, is important to me, because I talk about, if you ever hear me talk about, I want to be known by my great grandkids. I don't want them to forget who I am, right? So that does drive me. You know, when your significance the human needs, the more of these you fulfill, so just from a business standpoint, the more of these you fulfill in your client's life, that's where true conversion comes into, right? So you think about somebody pulls a gun on you and points it at you. They have become a god in your life, right? Obviously not because they have the gun, but how significant is that person with the gun pointing at you? The most significant, right? Right? In their mind, right? So that person pointing a gun, not just for you, but even the person with the gun, you're now significant to them. They have certainty because they feel they're controlling the situation. They have uncertainty because who knows what's going to happen? I could shoot them, I could not shoot them, right? There's a connection. You may not like the connection, but there is connection. So that's why people get addicted to crime. That's a lot of times that's why. When you meet somebody they have low self-esteem, but yet they're criminal activity, that's because they're looking to fulfill those human needs. It's the same thing when you're working with a client, right? Clients want to feel important, right? They want to feel like when you're with them there's that connection. Certainty, they want to know that you know what you're doing. You show up, you've got properties. They want uncertainty, right? You're just pulling. You ever hear agents or meet a client that says, I was finding all the properties, they weren't doing anything for me. That's because there was no uncertainty, right? They knew every time they would show properties, it was always them. But they would like that, hey, you sent me 4 properties, I pulled 3. Even if there's 3 that they hate, or they don't like, they still feel that uncertainty of being there. That connection, that's paying attention to them when you're with them, right? So that's where the 6 human needs come in